Hi, I'm Filip Kessner. In this video I'll show you how to add custom instruments into Calibre. Instruments in Calibre are represented by instrument cards, which contain all instrument-related data like functions, ranges, specifications, remote control setup, and commands. If you want to be 100% sure about your custom instrument card, please write to us and ask for on-demand instrument card. Our specialists will make sure that you get valid and verified instrument card for instant use. Topic of this video is really comprehensive and to make it easier to understand is divided into 3 parts. First part will cover the basics, Calibre environment walkthrough and creation of simple DMM instrument card. Second part will focus on remote control, how to set up calibration over serial port, GPIB, camera, the lot. Third part will explain converters, devices converting one type of signal into another. Access to Instrument Cards panel is from Window tab. The best way to create your first instrument card is to check an existing card of some similar instrument. I'll try to explain contents of M151 high current calibrator card, and then I'll create a sample card for a basic digital multimeter. So, this is what M151 instrument card looks like. On the left you can see status window. This window is a hierarchical tree of all instrument functions, ranges, and so on. Right now we can see only the top, or instrument level, so there's just a single row saying M151. But when you double click on it, you'll get deeper in hierarchy to function level, where it says that M151 can generate DC and AC current, and in DC current it has 8 ranges. Status window works a bit like a file explorer in Windows, where you can break down folders and subfolders to see specific content, and then go back up with this little button. In Calibre, it's the same. On the right there is a window with 4 tabs which specify an instrument role you are working on right now. M151 generates current only, but it has a built-in multimeter too, so in Meter tab you will find some more functions like voltage, current, and frequency. Back to Source tab. This window contains instrument data for this particular level. Some text boxes are blank, but some aren't. As I said in previous video, Calibre can save you a lot of time if you use it correctly. When you fill in a text box at some level, the settings will apply to blank sublevels too. M151 uses the same output terminals for all sourcing functions, so why should you write this down to every single function and range? You can simply write it at instrument level and it will apply to all sublevels. And if you need an exception from that rule, just go to the sublevel you would like to change and rewrite it. To help you keep track of these changes, Calibre shows them in bold and copied values in italics. Except from terminals, you can set specifications and remote control settings at each level. Specifications can be defined as percentage of reading, percentage of range, or absolute value, and Meter tab has one more way to define specifications, a digits error. When using Meter tab, also make sure that you specify either number of digits or resolution of meter. Enough of theory, let's do some example. I'll create an instrument card for Metex M3800 multimeter. Good, 3800 is meter only, so I'll go straight to Meter tab and set a few general things. Most functions use voltage and COM terminals, and most ranges have 2000 digits. The rest of specifications varies a lot, so I'll set it in sublevels. 3800 has 5 basic functions: AC/DC voltage, current, and resistance. So just give me a second to fill this in. Current functions don't use voltage terminals, so I'll make an exception from her level and change connection scheme to A-COM. Specifications of DC voltage are all 0.5% and 1 digit. Good. Next level. And now ranges. First VDC range is 0 to 200 mV, that's quite clear. But what about the sign? The sign defines inclusion of both limits. Ranges cannot overlap because Calibre wouldn't know which range to use when calibrating value from overlapped interval. 3800 doesn't show the range value, 200 mV in this case, so lower limit is included, upper limit excluded. The other ranges are similar, except the last one where upper limit is included, and since it goes only up to 1 kV, number of digits is 1000. This is all for DC voltage function. I won't go through all the functions since they are quite similar. I will show just AC current function, which is the most complicated one. The first range is 20 microamps. To avoid typing countless zeros, you can use scientific notation. The same goes for the rest of ranges. The last one is a bit different again because it uses 20A terminal. Now, AC functions are defined for specific frequency interval. In case of 3800, it's 40 Hz to 1 kHz. In some functions, values like this are noted as parameters. Parameters have intervals similar to ranges, and every interval can have a different instrument data. Think about electronic loads and constant resistance function. You have 10 ohms calibration point, but you can load it with 1 watt or 1 kilowatt, for which you could have different connection scheme and specifications. In Calibre, you can use load function with main value in ohms and parameter in watts or amps. Alright, I won't go any further, you should be able to do the rest of instrument card by yourself. Just don't forget to save it in the end, so you can use it in procedures and modify it. Thank you for watching this tutorial. If you'd like to find out how to set up remote control or converter, don't miss parts 2 and 3 of this video.